How do you respond?
We're calling the plays, all right?
You gotta listen and you gotta execute.
I already feel good about me. I'm good.
Just call it.
What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk, and we have an interesting dilemma with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. After a few days ago, after the quote-unquote foul that made the internet lose their shit, we've had a couple days to process and look at some other games. And what do you know? Caitlin Clark has one of the worst games as a pro. Angel Reese has undoubtedly the worst game probably of her career, collegiate or professional. And they have graduated into the ranks of what it means to be a pro athlete. As good as you are, as many rebounds as you can get, as many logo threes as you can nail, everybody's going to go through some shit. Everybody gets a turn. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what sport you're in. Everybody gets a turn. And moments like this determine what you're made of. How will you respond?
How do you respond?
Angel Reese, to say she played a horrible game is a gross understatement. How will you respond?
How do you respond?
Can't be everybody else's fault. It ain't the ref's fault. It ain't the defense's fault. It ain't Tyler Marsh's fault. Every game that Chicago loses is not because of Tyler Marsh. We've only played, what, two of them right now? Give him time to shorten his own leash. But when the women on the court ain't making shots, ain't making layups, ain't making free throws, hard to win. It's hard to beat anybody. How will you respond?
How do you respond?
Caitlin Clark couldn't hit a mirror in the bathroom the other day in Atlanta. Ryan Howard was in her grill, D'ing her up all game, and kept her in check. She ended up with like 11 points. But for the most part, Ryan Howard D'd her up something fierce. Yet Indiana won that game. But if you go back a few days earlier, when Atlanta beat Indiana in Indy, Caitlin Clark had a hell of a game. 27 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, 5 rebounds, and they lost. They lost. So even at her best, you're going to take one. You're going to take it on the chin. Then you have one of your worst games, didn't hit not their 3-point shot in this game. And they won. Because you had a team around you that was hitting shots. Particularly, Natasha Howard was in her bag, 26 points. Whereas in this game that they lost, Natasha Howard only had 6 points. So the game that they lost, Natasha Howard, 6 points, but Aaliyah Boston, 24 points. Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points. Caitlin Clark, 27 points. But let's fast forward.
Let's look at the game. They won last night. DeWanna Bonner still didn't have a good game, but Natasha Howard, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal.
DeWanna Bonner still didn't have a good game, but Natasha Howard, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Kelsey Mitchell, 17 points. Caitlin Clark, she only scored 11, but she had 6 assists. Sophie Cunningham is back in the mix, 9 points. Lexi Hall, 10 points. So you get more help from your teammates. But Caitlin Clark pretty much got shut down. 4 for 11, 0 for 5 from 3-point land. Ryan Howard was in her shit.
How do you respond?
What's going to happen in the next game?
How do you respond?
Angel Reese, I ain't never seen you that bad. You ain't never been that bad in college. How do you respond after a game like that?
How do you respond?
Can you flush it down the toilet? I'll take the words of Jalen Hurts.
You take you a deuce. You don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
When you lay a deuce, you flush it and you move on. Let's see if they can do that. How do you respond?
How do you respond?
Is this the hazing? Is this the hell week that every professional athlete goes through? I've been through this. Every teammate, other athlete in other professions, in other sports, anybody I guarantee you that I could talk to about a situation like this where they had a bad game, everybody has been through this. It's almost like it's a rite of passage. You ain't always going to be great every game of your life. You got to go through some hard times. Everybody gets a turn. So I'm watching Angel Reese.
How do you respond?
I'm watching Caitlin Clark.
How do you respond?
This is what will take you or break you on your journey to your next level of success.